Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here. Get ready for Gnosis. Well, I want to talk about a very interesting book I've just written, and you can get this from Kindle. Follow the link below. It's another inexpensive book, and I love inexpensive books that are also relatively short. I mean, that's what we really all want to a great extent. Is to not have to read a 300-page book. Those are always nice if you want to get into deeper information. But, we're always looking for the latest and greatest healers, things that keep you well, that take care of illnesses you may have, and something to try that is just not some sort of pharmaceutical. Which all seem to be cons and terrible to a large extent. While there is a place for some of them, it's interesting to note that most of them are very toxic and have all sorts of side effects. But, you want to alleviate some symptoms, which is what taking medication is about. They are not cures. They are alleviate symptoms. And I think I didn't quite understand this myself until listening to the late, great Dr. Mayfield, who kind of pointed this out. I mean, you're just alleviating symptoms. You're not stopping the problem. So if you have high blood pressure and you take medications, well, it brings the symptoms down, not the causes. And that's okay for a period of time, but the bottom line is there is never any cure. So you're on medication for the rest of your life. That's not healing. So one of those amazing things that is coming out here that I guess has been around for several years is the miraculous results of extremely high doses of vitamin D3 by Jeff T. Bowles. Now, again, this is a nice little Kindle book. Follow the link below and support me and get this great book. As I said, it's only a few bucks. So, I just finished reading this book last night and found it pretty fascinating. Again, what are we supposed to make of these things? There tends to be the miracle cures of some sort of supplement coming out relatively frequently. I remember when that was coral calcium. Live forever because you take coral calcium because that's what they ate in Okinawa, which they didn't. But then there was, of course, garlic is the best thing for you. Well, garlic is a toxin. It's not really good for you in large doses, if at all, and it's horrible for your psychic empowerment. It disrupts your brainwaves, so it's really bad for you, regardless of how nice it tastes. And I like it, and I like onions, but these are not good for you. Now we come into this D3. Now, this guy takes very high dosage of D3, which is something that keeps being increased even by the governmental standards, stating that we need more and more of it. Well, duh. There's all sorts of problems, which has started for the last 25 years. Stay out of the sun. It's bad for you. You get skin cancer. Well, this is added to the problems with people having extremely low levels of D3 in them. So this is very bad because nobody gets a lot of sun. We're inside. You go outside in the sun and you're slathering on protective stuff. And, of course, this stops the absorption or the triggering of D3 in your body. And D3 is the sunshine vitamin. You get D in your body by going out in the sun. Well, maybe you can do that, maybe you can't, maybe there are certain problems, but regardless of that, it's near impossible to get, like all supplements, the amount that you need in a toxic sewer environment we live in by just exposing yourself to the sun. So certainly it should be something that people should do and get out there, but who does? And unless you, I found that if you live in a very sunny environment, like I lived in the California deserts for many years, you hide from the sun because it's too damn hot. It's 120 at 2 o'clock in the morning. So you have that problem if you're in super sunny areas. If you're in cold areas or areas where it gets dark quickly, well, you're never getting any. And this also goes for your pets and everything else that need D3, particularly dogs. And dogs and cats, I believe, they don't manufacture their own D3 like some other animals do. But this is a fascinating book, and it seems to be relatively good researched. I'm not sure about all of it, but certainly the statistical data there is interesting. I also found it very, very interesting that there are 4 cancer treatment drugs that cost a fortune that are nothing more than 50,000 international units of vitamin D. So if you're really sick with cancer, they give you high doses of vitamin D3. Isn't that interesting? Because this is the other reason why it's been suppressed, that they don't want people taking it. It's no good for you. It's dangerous. Well, I've heard this 100 times from so many sources. But one thing that the author in the book does state over and over again, and correctly so, is that it's not just taking vitamin D3. And he goes into all the different factors and so forth here. You need to get the book to have all that information. You can go through this book in probably 20, 30 minutes, and it's one of the best things you'll ever do, and it gives you guidelines of how to take it. But you must take vitamin K2, I believe, with it, because there is a certain toxicity factor with D. D is what's called fat soluble, and it tends to stay in your body longer and can build up and cause you problems if you're not taking K2, which tends to distribute the vitamin D and get it out of your system if there's any overload. So understand that, and just don't go out and buy a bottle of vitamin D3 unless it has that extra K2 with it, or you take it separately as well. So that's very important to know right off the bat. So when you get the book, note that. But it is interesting that there are 4 patented cancer treatments for people taking cancer that are 50,000 international units of vitamin D. So that ought to show you that somebody thinks it's very effective. Now, the author, like so many of the claims that this can basically alleviate or actually, quote, cure almost any condition or anything that you have. It will assist it dramatically. Vitamin D3 is available everywhere, basically, with the K with it, and relatively inexpensive, like everything in life. So we highly recommend that you actually get the book and make your decisions there. But you certainly can get it easily enough. It's everywhere, and I'm sure you can find inexpensive ways of getting it so that you can take some of these higher dosage if you decide to. But it is quite fascinating. He goes into all the different things that he is cured with, and himself personally, and the doses he's taken personally. And that doesn't mean you do the same thing. You figure out what works for you best, which is always the case with any kind of information here, is that, you have to kind of fit it into your life. Everything is different per the individual. But if taken properly here, even the doses mentioned by different doctors and other things, that they're taking, huge amounts compared to what is commonly thought of in the past. But, they put D vitamins in the milk in America, and these are things that people need. And you're not getting enough of it. Iodine's another thing that everybody is deficient in, yet this is what takes care of your thyroid, which when goes bad, if it goes bad, the thyroid can cause you a ton of problems that you would never even think of. So racing pulse, breakouts all over your body, all this coming from the thyroid because you don't have enough iodine in your diet, which probably nobody has. And certainly I never recommend anybody eating any kind of sea products, no matter what they are. Again, you can get supplements of these things relatively inexpensively. So these are the type of things that you should look into and see if it fits into your personal life. But the D3 miracle here, certainly, these books certainly get you excited of what possibly could happen to assist with these so many illnesses that we have, and everybody is sick, everybody has something, and this never seems to end. It really reduces the quality of your life. And if you're a manifesting scientist, an occult scientist, if you're not well and producing high energy levels, well, you're just not going to be successful. You're just not going to feel like doing anything. You're not going to be psyched up enough. So it's very important that you stay well, and don't wait to get sick to start taking and cleansing the body properly. So this is a very important area that we all need to look into. So everybody get this book, follow the link below, and it's certainly fascinating information, and people are on a lot of dangerous drugs which do very little for them. This is certainly worth looking at and experimenting with and seeing how you can handle everything personally. So this is another one of the many keys out there. There are other supplements, other things to take as well. Borax is another one. All these are things that seem to have miracle effects that are just not in our diet anymore whatsoever. And we need to stay well, and we need to improve our health, because everybody is sick with something or doesn't really feel good. But as I've said, don't wait until you get sick. Make sure you keep your immune system up. Apparently, you can fight off major illnesses by taking high doses of vitamin D, plain and simple, with all this. So the whole idea is that it's important that everyone know this. So if you're having to fight something, well, give yourself that extra boost so you don't get ill. And we're facing a multi-year problem with all of these things as we run into all these horrible viruses out there. Well, anything you can do to boost your immune system to fight these things is very positive. So this is a major deficiency, as well as iodine, etc., and you need to look into it ASAP. Until next time.